learners have been isolated in school, and further 917 recommended for testing. This actually follows after 5,000 learners show COVID-19 symptoms after we have reopened schools.
This is scary and worrying at the same time.
Okay.
Why is scary? The children. 2 years down, they've not been a more balanced. I think this school year calendar is going to be a better one.
Okay.
Where you're starting the normal way in January, like we used to start back the day. And you would think that they would actually add something to their with schools. It is when you have some discussion with most of the parents, they will tell you schools they actually help them in upbringing their children. Unlike the issue of when they were here, back at home. But that is the most scary part. Now, the other one part is the more we have these cases of COVID in the schools, the higher chances of I don't want to mention a lot on
it was part because he's not vaccinated against COVID-19. So to them, he is considered as a violent, how do they say, someone who has violated the policy. Yes. So he's a violator of the guideline because everyone is supposed to be vaccinated.
Well, this also takes me back to the ethics, or the medical ethics. I feel there would be an opportunity for the gentleman to first get the vaccine. He can get the vaccine from there, and then you get the transplant. Unless otherwise, if at all he still resists, he feels he doesn't want the vaccine.
The man actually claims that his son, he has 3 sons, but his son doesn't believe in vaccination. So he's bound to respect the decision of his son. Yes. Because they don't believe in vaccination. And by the way, it's also happening around here. But we don't know in such a scenario. We will be finding out from the Ministry of Health surely to tell us what is the future for Ugandans, or we're also going to face such.
Because we've actually here in Uganda, things are becoming even more worse. People are coming up with their own vaccination certificates, people are making their own, and even when they for mass vaccination drives now has been taken to up country, you can still feel that not warmly welcoming this. There are always those myths attached to vaccination.
Like can see this, that people are actually spending more time to get COVID-19 vaccination sorts.
In most cases, by the way, people wake up very early in the morning
to go for a vaccine.
But then the biggest challenge there is sometimes someone spends a full day, you ask for maybe a day off from work, if at all you're employed, then you spend there like a full, because there are quite a number of Ugandans out there who have got vaccinated. But when they reach out there, you reach at around 7, you may even leave by 2 without getting vaccinated. Why? Because sometimes
things are in custody
or time may be the issue. And you find out that a number of people not getting vaccinated simply because the whole day there was a full vaccination. And,
but also what I got to learn about vaccination, we're going to be following up with the Ministry of Education first of all and Ministry of Health. It means that she had to hospital to get a second jab, but he happens to get AstraZeneca and then goes for a second jab. It wasn't. They normally give you dates when it will be available.
When you're supposed to return.
Yes, and then you go back, your medication is not there, the type of vaccination. And this the health people said, the nurses or the doctors.
Also others actually have a change with the system in which, whereby you actually check on your phone to see that you're vaccinated and you're on record. Some people claim that after getting second jab, after the 2 weeks time that they were given,
they
still don't get no notification that they're already in the system. That proves that they were already vaccinated.
So here is the point I was trying to drive home. So the now doctor tells this person, my friend, that hey, it's okay. Get this other type of vaccination. I mean, vaccine, it has no harm.
So the masses are skeptical.
So you go and to get Pfizer or to get a second jab vaccine. To make sure there is a 6 meter feet or what to create such a social distance.
So the schools.
And they are doing the 1 arm distance take. I don't know if you did that, but schools are still doing it. I mean, this child or the learner is very well putting an arm onto somebody's shoulder. And remember, these are learners. Anytime I'm touching my shoulder. So the spread is really going to keep on happening until the ministry comes up to regulate some of, of the guidelines that school follow. For me, that is it, as we conclude on the learners showing up COVID-19 symptoms.
All right. My last would be to also mention about the arcades in Kampala.
Okay.
Mainly when you talk about schools, even the arcades, people are no longer maintaining this the social distancing. You'll find a water point where people are supposed to wash their hands before accessing or buying some of the things. Then you can just pass smoothly without even these guys who carry these garrettes. Are they the garrettes that are supposed to help you to check whether someone is entering with a weapon? They will be in their chivozi doing all lots of nothing completely. So that means anyone can enter with any weapon, be it a bomb, be it a gun in an arcade, and then people are not. You can even enter inside without a mask, and even the one checking you doesn't have a mask. There was a time I met an officer telling me to wear a mask. He himself had no mask on, so I'm like, now what is he telling me? So at the end of it all, that is, it goes back to us and how we should notice that COVID is still with us.
Very well. And Jerome Paul Sonko, we have to accept that we have to live with COVID-19 and make sure we put ways and also, let me say, us adopt to learn to live with it. Because, I mean, some things are really bound to happen. So government, make sure you plan on how we can live with COVID-19 and also put measure on people's health, because whenever something goes on your body, it will leave a spot, believe me or not. Even when the Omicron is not a very worse but it will leave a certain spot on your health system. So for me, it is government strengthening the system so that even because it will not kill me, because they say not a very high grade of a killer than the Delta. So how facilitated so that even when I get it, after I go to a healthcare facility, I'm able to erase that spot. So to me, that's a point. Rita Cabanyoro and Jerome Paul Sonko here. We've been driving businesses together. Thank you for having joined us and walked the journey with us.
All right. Smart 24 Driving Business. Every new day brings new opportunities for you to conquer the business world. Start your day with a show that will drive your business. Be the first to know the latest prices around town, the latest business information around the world. We bring you in-depth analysis with exclusive interviews from key players. And of course, wouldn't you want that for your morning?